It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5,
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, Guy Next Door.
Me, DK.
And me, Van.
Bringing you your weekly double tap of all things Space Marines and Laser Force. I should
It
just
is neither
change
weekly
that.
nor a double
Yeah.
tap.
I should absolutely change what we say there, but never mind.
Nah, benchmarks matter.
Oh yeah, okay, all right, fuck it.
Do you have any idea how much
Weekly.
work it would be to create a new catchphrase? Like, nah, we ain't about that life.
Yeah, that's right. Hello everyone. Nice to see you. More like weekly. Yeah, exactly right, Tucker. You get it. Nice to see you, chat. Nice to see you, boys. It's been a couple weeks since we sat down and waxed lyrical about what's been going down in the hood, and there's actually been some stuff been going down, which is nice for a change. But how you going? How you going, boys? What's going on? What are you up to?
Well, I mean, we're gonna talk about what I got up to most of last week later in the show. So yeah, overall, things are pretty good for me. Because I don't want to blow everything early since we're talking about it later.
I prematurely shot my wad. It was supposed to be a dry run.
What you do is you get yourself a tape recorder. Dickhead, how you been, bro? What's naming a 6 tape?
Doing good, gearing up for the plunge when it comes to grading papers and whatnot. But oh well, that's fine. It'll all happen in its due time. But exciting stuff in the realm of at least Laser Force adjacent stuff. I know you bowed out of the D&D campaign a while ago, Steve, but me and Al and Hoodlum and Ducky, and then Fish joined a little bit after you left, and then Dolly joined us for the last portion. But we actually finished our campaign last weekend, which was super exciting for me because I'd never actually finished a D&D campaign in my life. It's like every other D&D campaign, they've always fizzled out because suddenly people get busy for 6 weeks in a row, and then you forget what you were doing. It's just like, okay, I guess it just kind of it's over. But it was cool. So big thanks to the Oakley boys and everybody adjacent to them going along with that, and of course to you, Steve, because without you we wouldn't have gotten together to play D&D in the first place.
Just out here facilitating. Did anyone die?
Not permanently.
Oh yes, it's very mild.
Fish died once and Paul died once, but they managed to find their way back. It happens.
So how much DM hand waving / massaging went into making sure that they weren't permadead? That's
not
my
that
question.
Not that much, to be honest. It was pretty hilarious though, the time that Ducky died, because they had Hoodie's character had specifically decided that they wanted to take a bath, get naked, and walk through the house because they were supposed to be at Al and Ducky's parents' house. So he was being very obnoxious, which meant that he had left all of his spell components and stuff in some other room. So when Ducky died, he had to go make a bad dash to the house to find the stuff they needed to pop him back to life. So that at least provided some comedy.
I mean, expect nothing less.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm just completely unsurprised by Hoodie deciding to, in character or out of character, to take a bath and walk through somebody's house that he's guesting with naked. Like that's just Hoodie in all his glory.
I think takes me back to the 2014 Nets. It does.
At the holiday park. Well, that's the thing. I'm actually staying with Loveland in April, I think, and if that's probably a precursor of things to come. Actually, he called me the other day, and if it was anyone else, I would have let it go. But I was in the shower, and I was like, "Oh, Hoodie's calling me. Hello." Yeah, so can't wait. I
love those waterproof phones.
Yeah. GD, share your afternoon plans before you have to leave. So Stallion sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, bro, you guys doing a podcast today?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I can't stay long because it's my youngest's birthday. I'm taking them to Laser Force." So
nice.
So Stallion's a good parent.
Yeah, unlike some people.
Unlike some Troys we know. He's taken one of his kids to Zone because he's failed as a parent. Here's what it is.
Wow. Moment of silence, please, for
for her childhood. Yeah,
that's terrible.
It's terrible.
And I also apologize for apparently the small nuclear blast I have coming out of one side of my screen. Stupid sun angle this time of year.
Today's podcast has been brought to you by J.J. Abrams. More lens flare, thanks.
It's like the hat has turned radioactive.
The punchline is you're wearing all your Nats gear. Is that a punchline? I think that's just a statement of fact. Yeah.
You got to dress for the job that you want.
That's right. I mean, it's not weird to me because pretty much any time we play lasers, we wear our Laser Force gears to make sure that any newcomers know that this is my house, and they will pay respect. No. We played some lasers last week, I think, or week before, And we had a visitor from France. There was a dude who had turned up. He was here for a holiday, I think, and he was French. But he plays a system. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it now. It's some random system that they only have in France, I think. And anyway, he proceeded to tell me, or exclaim in a very French accent, how much he didn't really like the Laser Force system. So I promptly kicked him in the nuts. No. He was just, he didn't understand, about resets, and and then they had the conversation about, like, well, if you can reset people, then you could just follow them and, like, keep killing them over and over again. And I was like, yes you can, but there's rules against it. And
The interesting thing about that.
Which then prompted the question of, like, is it better to have no resets so that you can't follow people?
No. Next question.
I concur.
Yeah, we have done that argument to death at various points in time, and the abridged version is no.
We play Laser Force in this house, Troy. I mean, laser tag community. You get your non-reset bullshit out of here.
So good. But we've had a group of people who were playing, the Saturday party nights and stuff, and they're like, we need more of a challenge, and so they've started coming semi-regularly now.
Nice.
Semi-regularly is this podcast, so it's good. We might have a little bit of a crew that have gotten into competitive Laser Force play, which is awesome.
Excellent.
Absolutely loving Space Marines. Surprisingly, they love Space 5 and love Laser Ball. So I mean, it's it makes sense. And I made sure that we haven't, like, overplayed any particular game. We've sort of been playing a multitude of games, so it's good that they've come to that conclusion. But yeah, you're now on the side which proves resets only took 8 months.
Good. We knew you'd come along eventually, Lucy.
That's right. But yeah, so well done, all you Laser Force parents out there. Making sure that your kids are at least playing tag of some sort, even if it's the wrong system, Troy. But whatever. Some parents are just better than others.
I'm just excited that you guys have some more new people showing up for members night that have done it in that very organic manner in which you, like, prefer to see it happen, where they do kind of build into it, and then they get to the kind of the top of the heap in a Gen Pub scenario, and then actually want
hungry for
something. Yeah, they actually want something a little bit more, and they come to the thing that's a little bit more, and they don't immediately get like, oh no, we're back bottom of the heap. We're going to go back to being the top of the heap.
Yeah,
we're gonna, like, because that happens a fair bit.
Yeah,
where people
we've all seen it.
Yeah, we've all seen it, where people think they are hot shit, show up at a members night, they get crushed, which may not always be the right reaction to that, but it's the one that happens a lot because we are human, and then they don't come back, and it's like, ooh, maybe overplayed that slightly.
Yeah. Well, so the good thing with this particular group is, because they've come to lasers, and there's like 7 or 8 of them. There's they're not, when one person comes to a members night and they kind of they're definitely the bottom of the heap. It's not quite like that with them.
Okay.
Which is nice. Like, they're still competitive, and because we are playing, we're playing standards to warm up with a couple of standards at the night, because they're all still low levels. And they've been playing good laser tag. They've been very competitive, and they are winning those games, which is good. And the guys, the people that are like the vets that are currently playing, they aren't getting pissy about it. Yeah, they're not. It's not. when you get to a point as a vet where it's not always about winning, I think that's a very mature point to get to as a player. When you realize that, hey, actually, me winning all the time is a bad thing, potentially for the site.
It's all about winning in the long term.
That's right.
But if you win too much in the short term and you lose your chance at developing Nats players for crucial matches in the future, then yeah, you're not playing the long game.
That's right. Tisk. You're also chatting with Tomik in the morning, and his site's actually starting to play with resets as well, and they're trying to play the DSM-5 rules. That's awesome. Hopefully that sort of grows into something, because I mean
That's so in all honesty, like I'm very actually surprised to read that. I'm not unhappy about it in any way, shape, or form. I'm just a little surprised because of some of the resistance that was there previously from the player base.
But that happened in the States too, right? Like, I was surprised actually how overwhelmingly positive the majority of the people came out of 2010 positive about playing with the rule changes. And DK, you being a champion of that, Sanch especially being a champion of that, Beans, just to name a couple. Obviously, Dan doesn't count because he's a Kiwi.
Okay. No, it was more the surprise about them actually starting to play with resets.
Right.
So there'd been so much objection to the reset portion of things. So that does actually that makes me happy. And then you kind of have to go hand in hand reset with the international rules or the correct rule set to make things work properly from a game flow perspective. So one begets the other, and it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah,
it's because Lucy has been spreading the gospel of resets back to the Czech Republic. So
I have a feeling that as modest as she might try to be, I have a feeling that is probably a very accurate statement.
For sure.
She's been in Brisbane now for a while, and did Nats, stayed in Auckland for a while, now in Brisbane doing that, learning the game at a very high level, and being able to adequately see, this is why the things are the way they are, and being able to relay that back to her friends back in that scene and all that. Like, it's awesome. So Lucy, thank you for continuing to evangelize the reset and the proper rule set back to your compatriots in your home country. We appreciate it.
Very, very quick shout out as well. So Blueson, many of you know Blueson, is over visiting from Australia at the moment. And Lucy gave him a present to give to me. It's sitting on my shelf back here. It's a tiny wee Space Marine painted in Resupply colors. It's really, really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, real cool. Well, whilst you guys have been playing some lasers,
whilst I've been playing some lasers. Let's be very clear. DK was not on this trip, unfortunately.
You have any idea how rude it is to talk about lasers on a trip where somebody didn't go? Of all the inconsiderate things in the world to do,
I know.
You guys would do something so messed up.
I know, it is totally like the most fucked up thing possible, isn't it? To totally just call out somebody who wasn't on a trip that turned out to be really fucking cool. Yeah, it is the worst. Who would ever do such a thing?
We'll circle back to that. I played in the New Zealand Disc Golf Nationals last week, and boy, are my arms tired. It was pretty brutal. but
How
really, really
brutal
fun.
was it?
It was so brutal. No, it was just, it was really cool. I guess I can now say that I've competed at 2 sports at a national level, which is nice. uh, especially given
Valid, yeah.
the Adonis body type that I currently have. But yeah, it was really, really cool. And honestly, it had a very similar vibe to Laser Force Nats in the way that that the people there all had a massive passion for the same thing, and it's it's people from all different kind of walks of life. And they had international players who had come over for it as well, including a
Nice.
couple of like
Nice.
legit pros from the States. And yeah, it was cool to see the similarities between our game and disc golf. So yeah, it was really, really fun. Sore as hell. Actually, one of the things, and you guys obviously can relate, is at the end of each day I'll be trying to get to sleep, and all I can think about is the like plays from the day, specific plays from the day.
Yep.
The only difference is I didn't have like do it like in my head. Or the scream, the scream sound.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, dude, the parallels are uncanny. It was really cool. Such a cool trip.
And at least if you get mad and throw things, you can play it off as, oh, I was just practicing my shot.
Yeah, nobody bitched about me throwing nothing. If anything, I could have thrown things better. I ended up coming second to last in my division, but not last.
Not
That
last.
was the
Not
goal.
last.
That was the goal, not last. Yeah, so it was pretty good. Glader, what's up, dude? 41 bloody months. Slides.
Excellent.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, so
Stop hitting your mic, Steve-O.
oh yeah, I went to do the dance and nicked it.
I mean, hitting the mic is my trick. Stop it.
I like how there was a very tiny boom as you just started saying it.
I don't know why I didn't hit my mic then. Fuck.
The other thing, so I kind of bring it up to weird. I kind of bring it up to kind of bring this next part up, which is Al, perfect timing. In April we're doing a I don't, we're still toying with the name of the trophy, but I think it's going to be the Richard Gold celebration trophy. Disc golf tournament in Melbourne. So if anyone's in Victoria or anywhere else in Australia for that matter, and you want to come and hang out with some of the Lasers crew to play some disc golf, come on
Won't
down.
that be a fun inside joke to explain to everybody who sees the trophy?
Yeah, they're like, who the hell is Richard Gold? Yeah, can't wait. So yeah, that's coming up in April. So I'm heading over to Melbourne. I believe Lucy and Troy are both heading down as well. So it's gonna be fun. I couldn't make Nats happen this year, so this is kind of a consolation prize, which is nice. Can't make it happen. It's not happening. It's not happening then.
It's gonna be Steve-O's turn to cop a bunch of shit right before Nats.
maybe. FOMO. Exactly right. The tournament is called Laser Force Disc Golf Community presents the inaugural Richard Gold Invitational Disc Golf Tournament.
Good, a nice concise title.
That's right.
Rolls right off the tongue.
I can't wait. It's going to be great to see the crew. So it'll be very, very, very cool. Should we talk about what you've been up to, Dan? How was your week? What have you been doing?
Well, I managed to get my sorry ass out to Loveland this week for a nice, extended members night over games on Tuesday and Wednesday, which was pretty fantastic.
Hell
we
yeah.
we ended up actually having both nights basically for Space 5 and sharing with public for part of it, because they were the facility was nicely busy both nights with Gen Pub, which is, you know, for all that there's the minor fish shaking of RAR Gen Pub, so we only get 10-minute Space 5 games during that period. I don't care, because if there are regular people there spending money, that's good for the site.
Hell
The
yeah.
site makes money, which means they're still there, so we can keep doing these things. So, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised at the level of Gen Pub business they had both nights that we were there. Um, on top of that, it was also nice that, you know, we'd had both nights for Space 5, because apparently their staff were doing training this week. So the staff that would normally have taken some time for Laser Ball on Tuesday didn't. So we just got to play Space Marines.
Right.
We had like, what was it? I want to say about 15-ish people travel, plus the regular Loveland people. So it was a pretty good night overall of game nights plural of games. And you know, it's and as always, I mean, it's always nice to see people, you know, again, as we've determined over these last many years, for as much as I hate all of you, I do like to see all you guys at various points. So, you know, that was fun. Wasn't the best set of games I've ever played over the course of 2 days. I don't think it necessarily was the worst set of games I've ever played either, but I definitely had I did have what I think is the worst heavy game I've ever played where I've lived.
Where you've lived. Okay.
Because
that we already talked about the worst heavy game I ever played. That was our last show.
Yeah, that's accurate. No, it was of course it was the second to last game that I played overall for everything, and it randomed me into green heavy, and like the rest went like my team. It was a good team. You know, I ended up with Josiah.
You guys still won by Elim. That's like
Oh
not
yeah,
bad.
yes, because the rest of my team carried me along. So for everybody listening to this later, and you know now, so I finished the game on 4,300 points as a heavy, which in and of itself is already not great. Part of the reason it was that low, I shot my own team 5 times. Not because no, it gets better. Not
Including
because
your
I was
medic.
not because I was going for resets and missed, but because I'm fucking stupid and forgot what color I was playing.
I mean, that can be difficult to keep track of with all those colors in the game.
I mean,
the whole two.
Oh, and one of those hits was unintentionally my medic.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
So
Oh,
it was literally like everything, almost everything that could have gone wrong for me that game went wrong. Like
the other scouts ate you for breakfast.
Oh yeah,
like...
and my hit differential was I think I was hit almost 100 times. I could not get anything going. The times that I shot my own team, I literally like it. Remember the Oakley variant, one of the Oakley variants of Space 5, where traitor and you draw cards and there was one person on your team who was a traitor and they had to basically subtly try to make your team lose. I couldn't have done more for that if I had actually been playing that variant. Okay, I broke like literally 3 of our attacks where we had like other people had them swarmed and we're about to just like kick the shit out of them, and I shot my own team and combo broke what was happening. Like it was it was so frustrating. I was raging so hard at myself, and yeah, Tucker caught me just like at at the end of the game, I'm just coming out like just swearing up a storm at myself, just like, how fucking bad are you at this game? God fucking damn it! Just ugh.
We're gonna
Yeah, it was not great. It was
after
not great.
after the podcast today, I'm actually gonna make a couple of calls because I believe there might be a farm upstate that we're gonna have to send you up to to live up there the rest of your days. And sweet
That's it, Dan.
happiness.
I'm taking you off heavy at Nats. You're no longer the heavy for our team.
Oh, yeah, no, like when I got done with that game and I was outside sitting in the lobby and I'm like, trying to cool down a little bit because the only person that I'm mad at is me. Like I'm not mad at anybody else on my team. Like
Are you sure?
there was
Because you shot them.
yeah, it was terrible.
Oh.
Hey, between you and your commander, you scored over 17,000 points.
Yeah, because Ghost scored like 13K that game.
Good shit.
So good thing he put me onto his back and made up for all the points that I didn't get. So yeah, so that was kind of a low point for the entirety of the thing, and of course it happened at the end. So yeah, but yeah, no, that was actually one thing. Like as I was walking out, like just raging at myself, like it's a good fucking thing that I'm not responsible for anything 3-hit related at Nats whatsoever, because that would just be terrible. Of course, I did that, and like I can't remember if it was like the first game of, I think it was the first game I played same day at heavy. I had the best heavy start I've had in years. Like got my double, got up the red ramp, put down the other heavy, stuffed them at closet, ran into closet, and went through all 25 of my shots.
Wow.
And kicked them downstairs. And then did nothing the rest of the game. But,
well, I mean,
the start was awesome.
That's a pretty key thing. If you set your team up for victory before slowly undermining everything you've worked towards for the game. Perfect.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, overall, it was really, really great to get some games. It was great to see everybody. It was good to get some games with both Nolan and Kodama, because the reality is, like, I think over the course of all the times I've ever been in the same place as both of those guys, I've maybe played like 1 or 2 games with them on the same team, because it's just never really been a thing. And so being able to get some game time there in prep, for Nats was like, oh right, okay, we can flow. And there's definitely some things where it's like, oh right, there's trust issues because we haven't been on the same team working towards the same goals ever. So that's a little thing to work out. But overall, that felt it felt pretty good, and it made me super bummed that DK, Sauce, and Dill weren't there also.
Did you guys like, were there any like full teams there? Like, did even the home site have their full teams there?
So funny thing with that, the both Loveland A and Loveland B did get practice games, as well as the other Cali team.
Well, most of them anyway.
Most. So the like the first night it was like 5/6 of the Cali team. The second night, two-thirds of them played together. Loveland B, the first night I played with them as their 6. The second night they had their full 6, and Loveland A had their full 6 at one point as well. So one thing I will definitely say, so Loveland A did what you expected them to do in their own maze. Like, cool, fine, whatever. The reality is if you're an A team in your own maze, you better fucking roll teams the first couple times you play them. Like, that's expected. Their B team, I think, is going to surprise some people. I think their B team has the potential to pull some upsets in various places.
Cool.
There's a lot of really good talent on their B team. They're like one of their players, DK. You'll both get this reference. One of their players reminds me a lot of Flint
Yeah, I know who
in
you're talking
terms
about.
of in it just in terms of movement and everything else. And they've got a lot of young players that are relatively sufficiently grounded to take input on, hey, don't do that stupid thing during general public games, because if you do it during general public games, it's going to muscle memory into doing stupid shit during tournament games. And just some other just some other pieces where it's like, okay, these I am actually expecting them to claim a couple of games during Nats that people are not expecting them to.
Awesome.
Like they are going to take, well, assuming everything, assuming progression and everything else, they're going to take some games during Nats that are going to have some other teams very pissed off, and it's going to be hilarious.
Who's on that team?
I'm gonna,
Strictva.
yes, it's Strictva, White Ninja.
White Ninja is the young player.
Yeah,
I forget what a Blade of Grass's real name is.
Blade of Grass is fine.
Jidoku, Azra, and
Somebody.
who's the last player that I'm missing?
Raiden?
No.
Tucker, I'm sure will fill us in. The rat.
the
The rat
rat.
is who is.
There it
is
is,
who I was
okay.
thinking of. Yeah.
Those are some solid
Which I don't know.
names.
I'm sure. I think I've probably met that player, but I just can't
have.
put them on the top of my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know some people kind of swapped around a little bit with some of their names, or I confused people last time I was there. But
Right.
at least 4 out of those 6 I definitely know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
so yeah, and I got the fun of both playing with them the first night as their 6th, and then playing against them the second night. So I got to see kind of both sides of the coin on that. And I mean, they make the mistakes you expect them to because they're younger players, but foundationally they're pretty solid. So as I said, I'm gonna be very, very interested to see what they do come August. And yeah, I am calling it now that they are going to take some games that people are not expecting, and they are going to really end up pissing some people off, because people are going to go, oh, it's a B team, we shouldn't lose to a B team, and then they're going to
But a home site B team, I feel like you should never count out.
Yeah, dude, I always have a problem like when people immediately discount a B team, like to call it a B team. A lot of sites, especially ones that have deep membership, like Loveland do, like Brisbane do, like sure, maybe they haven't made the cut for the A team, but that doesn't mean that they're bad players. It's just, I don't know. It's a little disrespectful maybe when to immediately think of a B team as not a good team.
Maybe it's disrespectful, but it's reality.
Not all the time. Well, so that what I'm saying
as a generalized statement, it is reality when you see, oh, that's a B team. There is a mental step down of, oh, that's a lesser team. Regardless of how much lesser, like that's a whole separate.
I'm
argument.
just saying that fucking adjust your
Underestimate people
thinking.
at your own peril.
Yeah, stupid everyone.
The question is, who has a greater combined age, the entire Loveland B team or me and Than?
So on that note, my oh get fucked moment on the first night when I was playing with them as their sub, I have been playing longer than all of them have been alive.
Yeah.
Because I started playing in 97 and their oldest player was born in 98.
Brilliant.
I mean, that was the rest of the team that I played with in 2021, our California team that we took to Syracuse. I'd been playing longer than any of them had been alive.
Yeah, well, that was my you know, as if I need more evidence that I am old.
Maybe we put you both out to pasture. I think that I think that might need to happen.
You can kiss my first place trophy, Steve. You ain't putting me at the pasture.
Fuck you guy. Um,
I still got 6 more months to talk smack.
Raining, defending, yeah. Your team is going to give some people wake up, slap the first day, is what you've said. Your A team.
No,
I
his B
assume he
team.
means the B team.
He means the B team. The
Yeah.
A team, like
The A team ain't gonna surprise us if they win.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, B team day 1 and day 2, especially as teams are still adapting to the maze. That's where I think they're going to pick up some surprise results. Am I hoping they continue to pull surprise results into day 3 and day 4? Of course, because I mean, as long as they don't come at the expense of me.
It's not us, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But everybody else.
Everybody else.
All bulletin board material.
Yeah. I do genuinely think that they have the talent to surprise a lot of people.
So it's gonna
be pretty fun.
I was gonna ask. So in Detroit, when Detroit hosted in 2018, 19, their B team was very good. They had a great B team. What do you think? Like, it's kind of hard because different mazes, but Detroit B and their home maze versus Loveland B and their home maze. What do you who would you say sort of has the edge, or is it a little bit too hard to kind of?
Well, it's a trap question because I wasn't in Detroit in 2019 to see the B team.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, no, I
What a dick.
Why didn't you go?
Yeah.
Why didn't you travel more? Lazy?
Asshole.
Well, I mean, is that like maybe a
obviously
redundant thing to ask? Just kind of gauge like talent wise, like where Loveland be, potentially at.
Tell me who was on the Detroit B team, and I'll give you an answer. But
I think it was like
Jerbear, Terrell,
yeah,
Shayla, that one guy we don't talk about anymore.
Yeah.
Who was the other scout?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. They had people. They were good.
They were good. I don't know. Yeah, it just occurred to me that DK.
We still should have beat them.
Week, so
fucking Nimitz. But oh well. Don't clip your gun till the game's over.
Brilliant. What?
Yeah. We lost our match to Detroit B that was an elimination match in 2019, and I know it was by less than 600 points. And one of the things that happened is at the very end of the second game, Nimitz was walking out and he clipped his gun back onto his vest and got missiled.
Oh my god, that's so funny. That's
wow.
Which at the time, like, it didn't fully register for me, but it's like the next day and after that I was just like, motherfuck, dude, we should have got third in that tournament.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But good on Detroit B. They did the job. We didn't get it done, so good on them.
Yeah. Right on. All right. Well, I'm excited to see what they can do. I hope that my one hope for that team is that they keep pretty level, and don't get too nervous about going to these games. Don't think that they're less than in these games. Don't be too harsh on themselves. Just if they can keep level, I think they'll do pretty good. So, you think this B team?
I think they're more likely to keep on a level than the A team, quite frankly.
Savage. You think this B team is stronger mostly because of their synergy?
Yeah.
Well, and connectitude.
And I definitely was doing some old man coaching, because
Did you say old man?
I did not.
It sound like it.
Well, okay, fair, but the making imparting knowledge and watching other people get better just makes the scene better, because then the games are better because everybody's better.
Handy.
And the reality is, like, yeah, that B team is very solid at its foundations. And if they can avoid the the regrets and recriminations that can come after a bad game, after the the real test will be seeing how they respond those couple games, at Nats, where things don't go their way.
Mm.
And things that don't go their way in a very spectacular fashion, because that's going to happen. That always happens at Nats.
Especially in that field.
You are guaranteed at least one game where something just goes terribly, terribly wrong. And it'll be very interesting to see how they react to that, because it can go one of two ways. They can all start raging at each other, and then that's a problem. Or they can, regroup, talk, figure out why it went wrong, apply the lesson, and move on. But the second one is, easier to say than it is to do sometimes. So again, I think I do rate them. I genuinely do. I think if we're in like an 8-team scenario for Nats, I feel like 8-team is reasonable. I would be very comfortable placing them in kind of that 4th to 5th rank, which is no insult to them. It's because the teams that I'm looking at 1 through 3 are stronger teams on paper. But I could see them sneaking further up if some things go on their way. They do have the talent to do it. I just don't necessarily know if in the immediate they have the overall, game awareness. And it's all that intangible stuff that goes separates the top teams every so often, where it's all just little things over time.
Well,
There's
that
gonna be some good teams. There's gonna be some
Yeah.
good teams in this Nats. I think it'll be a good, like, well fought competition. And there's gonna be some upsets. There's probably gonna be some flipping of the ladder. And I would, we're months out, but I'm already getting geared up for it. And watching the games on stream, was a difficult thing. As it happened at, like, one point, I had just come in to check something to, like, see if you guys were playing a game, and I ended up just watching the Twitch stream, and apparently it was in the dark, and, like, Erica walked by the office room and she's just like, "You look so sad that you're not there." I'm like, "I am, god damn it."
Well, you were definitely missed, bro.
Yeah, it's my own fault. Like, I talked a little bit about it in our last stream. Just, like, for whatever reason, like, December and January just fucking beat me down, man. And it was, you've both been there, where you just get in a bad headspace, and it's like you don't want to do anything, and it's like, I don't want to deal with laser tag. Like, I can't be fussed with that right now. And, like, when people were talking about getting their tickets, like, I was focusing on all the negative elements. But as soon as I saw people on the stream playing some games, I was like, I fucked up. I should have gone to this. And part of it was because I have to teach a class on Tuesday and Thursday nights, and I was like, oh, I don't want to have to take my stuff and then like teach synchronously from the hotel or the Airbnb or whatever, and then miss part of the night.
Yeah.
But it was enough that I'm just like, well, people said they're going next month. How much are tickets? I think I can do that. So if I miss this round, I think I'll be in for a couple of trips to Loveland coming up in the next couple of months.
Yeah,
no FOMO.
So, Steve-O, when
hasn't hit me yet, bro. Hasn't hit me yet, bro.
Well, considering you were starting on me from like 6 months prior last year,
I wouldn't expect anything less,
or more for that matter.
Oh, okay. There's some flights here from Auckland to Denver. It's only like $300. Just don't think about it, Steve. Give me your
do
credit
it.
card. I'll buy it for you. Don't
Yeah,
worry about
just
it.
do it. It's fine. My business partners have spent all the air points, so it's not even an option for me. So it's fine. When it becomes not an
Investigate them for embezzlement.
option, no, because I'll implicate myself. Now you said that something was brought up, rules wise, on this trip that you wanted to kind of talk
Yeah,
about.
so one of the things that one of the things that's always kind of a weakness at tournaments just in general, unless you're in Brisbane, and even then, is people don't get a chance to ref in games that matter as a generalized statement, um, which can lead to some interesting situations when suddenly people are thrust into reffing games that matter. So one of the things that um, they were trying to have happen during these two nights was, if you weren't playing, hey, go in and ref. Go in with somebody who's maybe got some more experience and can point stuff out, and go ahead and penalize people. Like, let's start building the muscle to do that, which on the whole is a great idea. Get these reffing reps in when there's nothing on the line aside from what's essentially a glorified members night. If you blow a call completely in a members night, I mean, it's not great, but you're gonna learn from it. You blow a call completely during Nats, there's yelling, screaming, ranting, raving, and people are stupid. So
Well, yeah, but we are, obviously as a scene trying to change that, right?
yes, but
to your point, this builds
yeah.
in. Yeah.
But the stakes are obviously lower in a casual
That's
night.
right, yeah.
That's what I was trying to emphasize there. The lower stakes. So if you make a mistake in a lower stake moment, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that came up was there were some interesting interpretations of what is and isn't dangerous play, which, I mean, dangerous play in and of itself, as the rule is written, is literally, I think, the most open to interpretation rule, because it has to be. It's very hard to write a rule that says it's dangerous if you're running faster than this speed and around this. It just gets super messy super quickly. So dangerous play has always been very much a ref discretion call, but there were a couple of calls that got made where the interpretation was, if you even touched a wall going around a corner, using it to basically pull a corner onto a ramp, that was immediately a dangerous play. And so there were some discussions around that, like, okay, I see why you're doing that, but let's take it a step back, and what's the intent of the rule? The intent of the rule is to make sure that people aren't playing in a dangerous manner.
Well, I can explain some of the history behind that too, because there was a tournament in Syracuse a number of years ago where it was ruled by the people who were the tournament coordinators. I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but they had said, for this tournament, you cannot use a wall to take a corner, or to push off a wall, or to like grab onto a wall as you're moving. That's going to be considered dangerous play. And I think it got into the heads of some U.S. players that is somehow the actual rule, or that is the way that things have always been ruled, is that you can't use the walls to facilitate or stop movement or things like that, which is not true. That is not part of the rule at all. And there is also a difference between guidance that is provided like in the rules for refs to say, hey, here are some things to look out for. These are some things that might fall into this, versus this is the actual text of the rule. Because like similar thing with, a good guideline for a ref is if they take more than 3 steps on somebody's path, maybe start thinking about that. But 3 steps is not the rule. 3 meters is the rule.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes measurements are required. Sometimes it's good to clarify where those points are. And likewise, there are moments when obviously if you're coming out around a blind corner, you grab a pole and you like swing around it at full speed. Yes, that's dangerous play. In other cases, if you're crouching behind a wall and you happen to just grab the wall to pull yourself up, or if you're running down a ramp and you steady yourself by maybe just placing your hand on a wall, something like that, that's not dangerous play, at least not inherently. And in some cases, I would argue that it's actually safer to do something like that, to maybe steady myself by putting my palm against a wall rather than just cutting a corner full speed and potentially injuring somebody else who's around the corner, or myself because I skid out because I lose my center of balance. Maybe that's for the old men, but
it's all about control, right? That's kind of
yeah.
the rule was put in place to make sure people stay in control of their movements, and which is why in the past there's been people who are able to run much faster than other players, but they still have complete control of their movement. They can stop on a dime. Like Scythe is one of those guys that can stop on a dime. He's very, very fast, but when he needs to, he'll stop like that. The King brothers, both of them, very, very fast players, but can both stop on a dime. If I run at full speed, it's not as fast as them, but I definitely don't have control over my body, which is why I really run these days, because I'm,
Well, it's still faster than Hoodlum. If you're looking at
Suck it. But that's the whole point of contact with the maze, like that, contact with walls or corners or whatever. It's about whether you have control over your body, or if in order to be able to take that corner as fast as you want, if you have to grab onto the thing so that your momentum swings you around, you don't have control over your body. You've given up control to the pivot point. So yeah, Billy, you can start without using your leg.
As I've often commented to people, right, the rule says a player may not play in a manner likely to unreasonably endanger the safety of other players. Unreasonably is pretty key there, because there are lots of things that we do throughout a laser tag game that do endanger people, but in a reasonable manner. Like just you're in a dark room, you're running around, you have a phaser sticking in front of you. Sometimes things will happen. Not every collision means that it's dangerous play. It's not a super dangerous sport, but there is risk that's involved in it.
Yeah.
But can you reduce that to a reasonable level rather than an unreasonable level? If you're unreasonable is just if you're swinging your arms everywhere, you're not in control of your body, you're taking blind corners super fast, especially in highly trafficked areas. But it's always situational, and it has to be, and refs have to be able to make that discretion. Because we've had the discussion for many years that it's like people will sprint up the ramp full speed at the start of the game, but it's not dangerous play because nobody is there. But later in the game, when there could be somebody in a box at the top of the ramp that you don't know about, and you're taking that corner full speed, then it obviously is.
What was the situation in this particular case? Was there a thing that happened?
So it was a couple of times from the green start in Loveland. For those people in chat that have never been to Loveland, the green start is they're both right at the bottom of ramps, but the green ramp, there's basically a half wall on the turn that most people, when they start, will grab and help make that turn because of where it is relative to the starting line. It's like it's very close. And there were, I think, 2 penalties handed out for dangerous play for somebody basically
like launching.
Touching. Not that was just it. It wasn't launching. It was just it was controlled turn. So yeah. So again, you start getting into some semantical arguments with things, but this is the point that I would rather those type of things happen, because it did then lead to me talking in the armory for like 5 minutes about dangerous play while we were waiting for a game to finish, and trying to like talk through certain things. And what I'm hoping is that, you know, that all kind of got taken on board, and going forward, it's not going to be too much of an issue. Glad you thought dangerous play was ref's discretion. Yes, but in the specific case that we're talking about, it was not like
That was more of a they touched the wall, that's dangerous play, rather than I
Yeah,
thought the way
which is
they
why I
touched
just
that
want to
wall.
clarify for other
Yeah.
U.S. players, because I had had people who were coming up to me, not on this trip obviously because I wasn't there, but in previous trips, being like, "Oh well, I thought like grabbing a wall is dangerous play." Like, well, not inherently. It could be, but so I don't think that we do ourselves a service. But this is also why I tend to be more optimistic about rules that have a little bit of interpretive room, just much like the same thing where I don't think there should be a strict cap on you should get X number of penalties, and every penalty you get after that should be worth points, because there's too many edge cases, there's too many things that can happen in the meantime, and what is serious in one moment might not be as serious in another. I think that it is better to develop a trusting and collegial atmosphere where you can discuss those things in an open and rational way, because any rule is going to require some kind of edge case and some kind of interpretation that's made among reasonable people. I mean, that's literally how like the law works in a lot of cases, right? There is no law that is so perfectly written that its meaning is apparent in all situations and can apply equally in every situation. So there are things that have to be open to a little bit of judgment.
Yeah. But again, like, you know, let's be clear. Like, overall, I was really happy with, you know, what people were doing, and the questions that people were asking about reffing. And there were a lot of, you know, calls that happened where it was like, yep, nope, that was 100% the right call. Good job. We did have some funny moments because we never the blocks for the holes didn't get brought in, and so there were a couple times like people shooting through holes and then going, "Oh god damn it, ref, penalize me."
I mean, to me, it's one of those things that I know for home site players, they're more used to it. But like for people who are visiting, who aren't playing that field every week, if the blocks aren't there, like just kind of let it go, just play with it that way, because it's also going to train, like, don't sit in stupid situations and like have the medic sit right in front of that little cutout in the chamber or something like that, because it's like, well, ordinarily this is covered. Get into the habit just from playing that it's like, well, yeah, I can see that this is open right now though, so I'm not going to, you know, put my lights directly in that path, because
but I mean, it was literally just like and it was mostly the shooting into chamber thing, where it was like, you know, you catch a reflection as well because of the way that thing is through the hole. And it's like, why did I even point my phaser at the hole? Like, I can't
shoot people.
Yeah. Well, yes.
I like shooting people.
Love
so,
yeah.
You know.
Again, though, all that be that as it may, again, it was a really good 2 days. It was.
You want me to keep my gun up or not? Make up your mind.
Okay, valid. And then do you want you to keep your gun up? Yeah, really great couple of days. Really great, you know, games overall, not necessarily mine, but other people's. And again, good to see people. Good to see people, you know, reffing and getting that experience, so that when we do get to Nats, it'll, you know, hopefully be, you know, be a little more smoothed out in terms of the calls.
I find that Loveland has become like a beacon of hope for where like our site or where our scene should be trending towards, because, you know, the veterans there are doing such a good job bringing their young members base through, and like actually getting them to appreciate the game, but like appreciate all aspects of the game seemingly. So yeah, it's real positive. I'm glad. in a world of site closures and petty squabbling, they seem to be doing pretty good there. So keep it up. Keep it up, Loveland. You're champions.
I mean, I'm sure they've got their own set of petty squabbles, but
But at least they still play.
correct.
All y'all people who have your own sites and you still don't get together to play, you're the ones who have something wrong with you.
He's not wrong.
They just love the catch-up night news. What the hell is that? This? No. I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, wicked. Is there anything else you kind of want to talk about? Anything else that kind of stood out from the night, or anything coming up?
Well, as far as the coming up stuff goes, I mean, apparently there's another Loveland thing next month that I definitely won't be at, but we will be doing another one of these extended nights in May sometime. There's some stuff being scheduled at Loveland that has to go in first. They host a conference for other FEC owners, and so that has to get put on the calendar first, and then once that's on the calendar, then we can work
I'm
around
guessing
that.
it'll be the week of either the 13th or the 20th, because
Yes.
it probably won't be the 27th because
It
that's
will
Memorial
not.
Day, and that's a major holiday for
Right.
a lot of businesses. So
Yeah.
that'd be my guess, is it'll probably be either the 13th or the 15th or the 20th or the 22nd.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's
TBD. Of May, yeah.
Oh man, cool.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah, and then, because that's really the only time it works. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that conference is supposed to have its dates set here in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully by the beginning of March, we'll be able to say, okay, here's the dates in May, and people can buy their tickets to do a thing again. Yeah, the practical advantage of Loveland being where it is, nice major international airport that everybody can get to pretty easily, and usually there's some decent prices on them tickets.
Well, this is how dumb stuff is in the States regarding air travel. It's cheaper for me to catch a flight to Denver from Sacramento for the same set of dates than it is to take a flight to one of these smaller LA area airports like Burbank or Ontario or something like that. So that's what I was looking at, is that for next month I can get a round trip ticket out to Loveland for, I don't know, like $350 thereabouts. I was looking about trying to go to one of the weekends at Lost Worlds in Southern California, where Autumn, Aiden, other Northern California people are meeting with some of the SoCal people about once a month and go play. And I want to do that at some point, but it's kind of like too much of a time suck for me to drive, because I only get to play one night for a few hours. And it's too expensive to fly, because I'm like, well, I can justify spending $350 to go play for a few nights in Loveland. I can't really justify spending $450 to $500 to go play for 4 hours in LA. I'm not, as much of an addict as I am, I'm not made of money in that regard. So I have to figure out exactly how I want to manage that.
Josiah and you went through and tracked how many games each of your members played on each role. So now once a month they will make up games to catch up and play a bit more evenly of every role. That's really interesting. Really, really interesting. Is that because you guys, I assume you guys don't play with the randomizer? My only thoughts on that, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, they might, but just things happen over a span of time. Stuff gets crossed up, and maybe you end up with a couple extra games at heavy versus commander or something like that. I don't know.
Right, yeah. Interesting.
In the very long run, the randomizer, the matchmaker will get you a mostly even split of games, but it's you need a pretty big sample size for that to work out.
Half your site doesn't like the randomizer. I mean, yeah. Just us Trajan is 4 heavy games out of 60.
I think he's played a few heavy games in his day.
I think he'd be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, if you guys are somewhere in the States and you want to play some highly competitive laser tag, maybe have a look to go out to Loveland in May. But if you can't wrangle that, definitely look to go to Loveland in August. Yeah.
Well, and really, even if you're not inside the U.S. and you want to come play some good Leisure Force in May or August, you should look
Yeah.
at getting to Loveland.
I literally just looked the flights. It's $1,000 each way, which is just not the worst, but it's not great.
No, especially like New Zealand dollars. That's not terrible, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, and really for those of you that want to come play some good laser tag in August, there are also many fine disc golf courses in and around the Loveland area.
I thought you were about to pimp out some of the locals.
No, I mean I'm going to pimp out some of the local disc golf courses for sure. And very very scenic, which get to play in the mountains. Higher altitude, your discs are probably going to fly further and stuff. So
if you want to crush like a pro,
now you know how to sell it to them.
You son of a bitch, man. Yeah, there's lots of stuff happening. Go out and do some stuff. It's great. It's good for you. Next week, do we have a show next week? At this stage, I think we do. But if anything changes, we'll let you guys know.
I don't know any reason why we wouldn't have a show next week.
Yeah, our 200th is coming up. We've sort of talked about some stuff for that show. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the last episode where we did the tier maker. We're definitely going to do another one of those. Because I don't know,
There's a few ideas in the works there.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to do one every couple of months, maybe. Because it was really fun. Really enjoyed it, and it was a cool way to kind of go back down memory lane, which we often stumble our way down like a couple of old-timey drunks. Anything else you boys want to talk about before we skedaddle?
Nah, I think we're in a good place for today.
All right. Well,
I can't take any more FOMO.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We always love doing the show and have you guys chime in with your comments and your questions and your quips. It makes doing the show just that much more tasty. FOMO's killing you this year. Don't let it kill you later. Just buy a plane ticket, bro. Just buy a plane ticket. Let me know if you buy one, and then we'll see. Maybe Anzac Talks needs to be back on the cards.
Definitely does.
Maybe.
Definitely.
All right. Well, for this week, yeah.
That's my cat. It's to me.
For this week, I've been Guy Next Door.
I've been FOMO DK.
And I've been Than.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you next time on the Resupply podcast. Ka kite anō. Fuck, which button is it? It's that one.
I've been throwing daggers in the night. I've been chasing all the stars, stealing all their lights. The cut so sharp, cut so